Hey, whippersnappers, this is Tortimer the Great. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Minecraft Jurassic World Edition. Today, we're going to be doing a little bit of work on some park planning. A little bit of park planning because we've got some new DNAs and some other things, and we're getting close to finishing certain sections of the park. I think we're getting real close to being ready to open other sections of the park. And, oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh, wow! One, I don't know how that guy got me, and two, how did he kill me so quick? I guess I wasn't wearing my... but I don't wear, like, armor normally, like, a whole lot. Like, that was crazy. Okay, well, as I was saying, we're gonna do a little bit of park planning, and I was gonna show you guys some stuff. Let's head back, I guess. Because, yeah, I don't know what to do with that information. Some of the dinos are growing up. Key is no longer green. He's brown and red, pink. He's a pretty looking dude. I think Sari is more tan. Yes, you can see Sari there. So she's still kind of tannish. Not quite as pretty as she used to be, but everybody seems to be growing up healthy, so that's good. I spent a little bit of time since last episode doing a little bit of work in the enclosures, just putting more toys down and stuff like that, because there were some enclosures that we'd kind of thrown them in without really, you know, I didn't really space them out very well, and I didn't necessarily get all the toys in all the enclosures, so I think I have like at least a scratching post and a tethered log in each enclosure, and it does seem like just like relogging or whatever helped us out with getting the dinos to move around and play with the stuff and all that. So let's get off Coco here. I was gonna say I set up some obsidian spikes. Oh well, everything's gone. It's interesting. Huh. I don't know, but I did find a couple of obsidian spikes, so I put one here. It's not super efficient, but it does work. Can I get this without being pulled into the tar pit? I'm not sure where everybody is. Oh! Found him! I found him! Yikes. Okay, hold on. Let's just get on out. This place is dangerous. But yeah, so I threw in, not sure why that's there that way. I mean, I guess it was created by an explosion, so it's probably not real logical, but I did throw this here. It's not super efficient. We could probably... I do have several others, and, well, we don't have any more scarab gems, so we can't fight Anu again to just get obsidian spikes, but we can use the ones we've got, put some hoppers down, and just try and collect some stuff. I honestly don't know what happened there, but we've got more tar slimes, and I think we actually have some tar biofossils that we can render too. And so this is part of the reason why I want to do some planning today, because we've got all of these Ice Age dinos we're starting to get DNA for. We've got some new DNAs that we got last time from our mining adventure. We got the Parasaurolophus, we got the Ichthyosaur, so and there's lots of other ones that we can potentially get as well. Diana is really enjoying her toys. She was actually running around with the ball a little bit ago. Let's check on her. Somebody noted, so like she's not really getting super happy. And I think that somebody noted in the comments, and I tend to agree, because I also heard that like environment and other things like that are important for these creatures as opposed to just toys. And so her environment's not really super suitable, and she's the only one of her species as far as she's concerned. Now she's not really taking Gambit into consideration there, but yeah. So I think once we get her in an enclosure with others of her kind, we should be able to make her nice and happy. But yeah, so there we go. I think this should be good. And she was running around with the ball. She's playing with the scratching post. And I've seen a lot of the dinos playing with a lot of the toys we put in there, so that's pretty cool. And most of them are pretty psyched. I was checking out like Doser and Dolly before I came over, and they're all super happy and everything like that. But that also means that we can focus on some other things now. We don't necessarily need to solely focus on making the dinos happy, because I think we've kind of figured that out more or less. So what I want to do is, we were looking at the map last time, and I do think this, I was kind of scouting it out, and I do think this is going to be a good idea. But we got that ichthyosaur DNA last time from the mining adventure, and I do think if we bring this path here, if we make a turn, and we come along the stegos on this side, and then bring it down over here, we've got this, it's kind of a shallow pool, it's not really deep, it's more or less shallow, there's a cavern in the middle, or whatever, a ravine, but it's kind of a widened out river, and I do think if we kind of block this off a little bit, we could get a nice little pod of ichthyosaurs going in here, which I think would be really cool. So we probably would do kind of like what we did with between the plesiosaurs, because if we look between the plesiosaurs and where we had Poseidon, the Leopleurodon, we've got this canal that connects them both up, and I've kind of blocked that off. The canal's not accessible by either dino, and so this is a secluded plesiosaur place. This is a secluded Leopleurodon place. Words, and I think we could probably like put a little water gate in here. I probably will end up potentially terraforming this to be full water, but I don't know if I'd really need to either. It's kind of nice that it's, you know, I like the dried up look a little bit too. And then we might, you know, chop it off here, so we have kind of this basin where it's kind of pooled out a little bit, and we could just have a pod of ichthyosaurs in there. I think that would be pretty sweet. So I think that's the plan right now. This is actually where we originally hatched the Orthocanthus. On like the second episode, or maybe the third episode, we hatched an Orthocanthus in here, and it disappeared on us. But I think we would have better luck with the ichthyosaur. I just saw, you can see, I think that's the sturgeon. And so we have a bunch of sturgeon in the water. I did find an alligator gar or two in the water as well. And I brought them over here into the aquarium. And so I want to get your guys' thoughts on that. I still have some work to do on the aquarium. At least for the pathing, because from what I've been able to tell, like visibility-wise, to be able to see into the aquarium, it's much better if it's dark on the outside, and then the light on the inside helps make the visibility a little bit better. So I took out like all the lighting in there. Right now I have basically slabs as the flooring in there to try and keep things from really spawning, but I do think that like the Carpenter's blocks don't actually count as blocks, so we probably can just make the entire path out of Carpenter blocks and not really have to worry about that stuff with spawning and all that. We can just have it dark in here and then light inside. But I do have, so we've got some coelacanths. We've got, that's actually the Orthocanthus. He switched side, which is interesting. So that's the alligator gar. I think that's a sturgeon. So I just threw a couple of the ones I found in here. We've got another sturgeon or something up there, and I think it's helping to liven it up a little bit. I did put some nautilus. I found a couple of nautilus, and I put some more of those in there because they seem to have disappeared. I think something's eating them, potentially, because I did just an hour or so ago put in a bunch more nautilus, and so something's eating them, I would have to say, because I did put name tags on most of the guys that I put back in there to help from despawning, and I'm not seeing them again, so something is just munching on the nautilus. I'm not seeing the squid that had been in here anymore. I don't actually remember seeing it this morning, but we did have a squid in here at one point, and so something's eating those things, so that's a little bit, we might have to have like a passive pond or something and do that, but yeah, so if we come over here, well, I guess we don't really need to go into the lab. Right now we have two new DNAs. So we have the ichthyosaur, which we talked about. We have the Parasaurolophus DNA, which can I actually, yeah, okay. So I think I already talked about this about you guys, or talked about this to you guys last episode. Actually, I was putting some trees back in here. I think the Paleoref, so I did a couple of Paleoref saplings just to kind of see, because we talked about how in the past when I've not spawned, but I guess grown these from saplings, like they shoot up and then the leaves immediately despawn. I think that these leaves are still despawning, but potentially not as quickly. I'm not really sure, but so I put a couple of those in there just to kind of see, because I do want to use those. They're tall trees, and I think they'd look good in the Bronto enclosure, and I want to use them more around the park. But if they're not going to be like, I mean, I can rebuild them like we did here. I mean, that's not really an issue. It's just a lot of work for me to have to do that. So I wanted to test and see if that's going to be something that we have to do. But I did go around and put in some more. So I think I've got another bubble blower there and another one there. So I made 2 more. I think they're still, I haven't really led them away, but I think they're still, yeah, all more or less hanging out over here by this, the first bubble blower. So they are enjoying that. I don't think they're super happy, and so I'm not really sure what changes I would need to make. I would want to look into potentially if some of the ancient plants that, ooh, did you see that? Hold on. I saw some hearts. Who's getting all hearty over here? Hey, Lock. Okay, so he's getting happier. He's happier than he was looking before. Oop, I need to get up. Monster. So they're getting happier. I don't think. Well, because the plesiosaurs lay spawn now as opposed to eggs, which I'm not sure how historically accurate that is, but because I think more than likely they probably would have climbed onto shore to lay eggs or something, but maybe the AI. Anyway, the point is, I just saw hearts. I guess this is the point, and so they're probably going to be breeding soon, which would be good because they're apparently not going to grow up as big as they used to be. So it might not kill us to have a couple of more plesiosaurs in our pod, especially with as big of an enclosure as I gave them. They used to be much bigger, and according to Faye, when he was here, he said their growth has been stunted considerably by the radiation. So, I mean, I want to get one of them in my sights here. So, I guess there are only 3 here, so they'll grow bigger than this, but he seemed to think that they wouldn't get as big as they used to be. So, we could probably use more than the 3 we had in there. Loch Nessia Monster maybe growing their family a little bit. And as we saw before, the trikes are growing up and everything like that. But we've got some more DNA, and I'm thinking it's probably about time that we start doing some planning with that kind of stuff. Our Deinonychus should be awake. Oh yeah, so look, I got this log in place, and somebody's really enjoying it. They're jumping at it. Let's go in and check on them while they're awake, because normally I like to play during the day, because, at least with you guys, so it makes it a little easier to. Most of the dinos are awake during the day. But let's check these guys out, see how they're doing happiness-wise. Their environment should be more or less suited to them, so... Whoa, there we go. Okay, so let's see. Ghost, how you doing? Ghost is getting pretty happy. These 2 are sharing, which is awesome. Hold on, I wanna, hold on. I wanna read one of you guys. There we go, Ash. So yeah, super happy. They're enjoying themselves. They like that log, and looks like Ghost's over here using the scratching post potentially as well. So yeah, these guys are having fun, and they're so cool looking now. I do like the way they look. I did prefer the variation that you could have, we had different subspecies of Deinonychus, I guess basically is probably what it would have been. So we had some brown ones and some white ones and some black ones, or whatever it ended up being in the end. I did like that, but they're the new models and everything are pretty cool as well. Their new looks, so I won't complain too much. I guess it's just gonna take some getting used to. Let's check on the raptors. Okay, so they seem to be using the stuff over here as well. Got that one back there. Seems to be jumping at the log. These guys, we can pop in here and check on them as well. And usually when I come through here, people are asleep, so it's hard to really tell. Quattro is not super excited. Alphys is kind of medium. Delta's not real happy either. Blue is ecstatic though. So Blue's like, I don't know what's wrong with you people, but all right, what is wrong with you people? Your health's kind of low. I don't know. But they've got a ball, they've got a tether, and they've got a rope log. So I don't really know what to do for them. If they're not happy yet, I don't know what I can do. Okay, so Quatrace is happy. Did you just chirp at me like a cute soreness? So maybe they all just need to get their turn. Delta, why don't you come over here, sweetheart? Why don't you come play with the tether the scratching post here? How's that sound? Oh, there you go. There's a good girl. See, now you're happy. There we go. So they're getting it going. They just need to all get their turn. There's a lot of them in here, so we've got 3 toys for 4 dinos. I'm sure they'll figure it out. But yep, the Leptictediums are doing okay because they're not moody like all these other guys. Let's see the compies. They've got a scratching post. They might just have the one scratching post in here still. But they seem to be using it. I'm sure they'll be fine. So, let's take a look now. We've got all these Ice Age dinos that we wanted to do something with. And I think that we probably should get going on at least making some decisions on some of that stuff. Now, I think that most of the Ice Age dinosaurs, or creatures, I guess I should say, most of the Ice Age creatures are probably going to end up here in the top of the park. Now, we do still have the Elasmotherium, which, like the Arseniatheriums, are going to end up pretty big, and so keeping them, or putting them up here is probably just not going to work out. That would just probably be way too unlikely, because we just don't have the kind of space up here that we would potentially want to have for a creature that big. Because I mean, we're gonna be able to have some cool little enclosures up here, and I think that like up here on this platform is probably going to be one of them. And we need to figure things out though, because we can have the Sabertooths, we can have the Terrorbirds, but now the Terrorbirds, and they may have before as well, but I believe that at least in the current state of the world, the Terrorbirds are going to try and kill each other as opposed to live in harmony. They're not friendly with their fellow type of they're within their own species, I guess, their own subspecies, but you know, we can't put like Gastornis with Titanus and things like that. So we, in theory, are going to need like 4 or 5 Terrorbird enclosures. So what we probably will end up doing is some sort of like Terrorbird sanctuary where it's broken up into different sections. Okay, why is that shooting so weird? Okay. Hang on. Look out. There you go. Die. So it's gonna take some thought. I'm not sure. I've got to figure out exactly. I think we only have 2 different subspecies of Terrorbird now, but I think there's potentially several more that we would need to take into consideration there. But what I do think I want to do is I think kind of here on this, so we come out of the top there, and we've got this nice, fairly big mountain that we're on top of at the moment. So we can bring the path out and go whichever direction we want. I'm not really sure, but I do think that up here, now whether it's right over here, or if we end up doing it over there where we were just lighting up, there will probably end up being at least a enclosure. So if we kind of take this space here and maybe go down and kind of encompass this space around this edge, and then kind of build it around this mountain, or not mountain, but this little bump here, downgrade it from a mountain to a bump, that it would probably make a pretty decent Sabertooth enclosure, which would be a cool one to have kind of right off the bat. We've got some other, you know, creatures we're obviously going to be planning on putting up here, like we want to have the Pterodon Aviary, which I think is probably going to end up. We should have really grabbed a dragon. We can go do that though. Let's do that. I think we probably are going to end up putting the Pterodon. I want that to be a fairly big aviary, which means we don't necessarily need a huge footprint for that, because I can always like build off the side of a mountain or whatever. I'm not adverse to doing that, but I think, ooh, well, hey there, be careful, you kids. Go to sleep. Sometimes they get so addicted to the toys they just won't sleep. I think up on top of where like the iron farm is might actually be a good place to put one of the enclosures. And I'm thinking well, it's definitely gonna be where one of the enclosures goes because it's probably the biggest mountain area we've got. And my thought right now is to make that the aviary. So we'll have a nice big dome there, and we'll be able to have guests walking through that in some level of safety. I don't think the pterodons are hostile in this. Oh, I was gonna say somebody used to be up here. Hey, Casper. All right. So let's fly up. So yeah, we come in here, and we've got some space up here. We could potentially put 2 enclosures. I think we could potentially put one right on top of the hill here, and one down over there where we were kind of thinking about putting the saber-tooth enclosure, or the smilodons. And then up here, go a little bit higher. Up here then, we've got another fairly big space. And I think that up here, we could probably fit another couple of enclosures. But mainly what I would want to probably do is make this at least part of the base of the aviary. And so we can see somewhere up here. Yeah, so we can see well, maybe you can see that, maybe you guys can't. I tried to blend it as much as I can, but you can see some colored glass, just like a line of colored glass in that bit there. So the iron farm requires, light to be shining on the doors for it to function properly. Daylight, so I had to carve into the mountain and stuff like that. The actual iron farm is inside that mountain, so there's that. We can't build it directly on top of that, but anywhere else on this mountain should be fair game. Nothing we would do up here would potentially conflict with that, and so we can use this space a fair bit. And then with most of these being smaller creatures, so what we have the Smilodons, we've got the terror birds. What else? I mean, the quaggas we're probably going to do on the ground. I think I don't know if we're going to have a quagga exhibit necessarily, but we probably will have like quaggas in the petting zoo, which we're planning on, and we probably will get started on the petting zoo here before too long. Let's see, we've got paths coming down here. Let's descend a bit. Let's see if we can't see a little bit of stuff. So we're above the middle of the park here with our ankylosaurs and our dilos. We've got the path that leads up here, and I actually worked on this path a little bit. I'm not super happy with how that works. Probably will try and curve that around a little bit better. But we finally got a little bit of a staircase, which is going to lead us into that section, which is actually going to be the dragon den. Just because a lot of people said we should make this the aviary, but it's just the dinos will escape. And so I think this will be a good place. We've got a couple of Actually, we did find... I don't know if I showed this. I must have shown it to you guys because I put everything in a chest at one point. Where was all that? No, it's in one of my bags. I don't know if I can... I think it's in the creature pack. Yeah, so we did even get a new dragon egg in that desert temple that we saw last episode. So we've got a couple of other dragon eggs as well. We can potentially get some more dragons hatched and kind of set up this dragon den area here. So this pathway is going to come in here, and I'm going to kind of have, what I want to kind of have is this spiral, kind of like we have in the Spiral Mountain, but much, much bigger. This pathway that's going to kind of wrap around the interior of this kind of area, and then you can go down and then back up. We'll probably have an entrance to it. If we look like over here, we can see this gap in the mountains here, where you can see some desert and savanna through here. If we come through here, not too far away from that is the mammoth enclosure. So we can probably bring a path over there. Guests could enter from, over here, and then they could take the spiral path up, and then they can also enter from the other side of the park at the top, and then they can come and just kind of see our dragons. We'll build some caves and stuff like that in here, and this will be a kind of cool little area. Do some more lava up and stuff like that. But yeah, so I think it's about time that we start working on the top of the park a little bit. I think what I want to do is probably next episode do some hatching. So probably in an upcoming stream, I'm going to work on the Gallimimus enclosure. Probably this week's stream, if I'm being honest. Maybe we would do that instead of being on Time Shot this week. Maybe we'll on my stream, which if you guys aren't aware, Thursdays from 5 to 7 p.m. EST I'm planning on doing some streaming weekly now, and potentially adding some more time slots as allows. I really don't have many other evenings free, but yes, Lucille, we hear you. I don't really have many other evenings free, but potentially, like, I was thinking maybe like Tuesday afternoons, so people from Europe or whatever don't have to stay up so late. I could do an hour stream at least. Yeah, it's oh, is Riggs actually using? Yeah, so Riggs looks like he might be using the tethered log, which is awesome. Let's come a little closer. Seems to be doing something. Let's sit down. Hold on, I want to check on Riggs real quick, see if he's happy. Not ecstatic, but you know, not unhappy. Let's see if Bridge. I think I had. She might be using. Did I put a scratching post over here? No, apparently not. Well, I guess so. Her and Riggs are about as happy as each other, so he's not getting much. Maybe that's too tall. I kind of put it at that height, just kind of guessing that that might be a good height for them. I maybe need to lower it. I don't know. We'll play around with some stuff, but I do think next time we'll probably do a bit of hatching. So I'll probably try and work on like the Gallimimus enclosure at some point this week during a stream. Maybe tomorrow. So this is coming out on Monday. Maybe tomorrow we will do you know, a Tuesday afternoon stream. I can probably pull that off just over my lunch or whatever. We can jump on and stream. And we might just do some work on the Gallimimus enclosure or something, because I would really like to, even though we're not doing a ton of work in the back of the park. I mean, we've been doing some work in the back of the park, but I'm supposed to be working on the front of the park to get that done. So I've kind of been putting off dedicating time to the Gallimimus enclosure, but I think it's probably about time that we went ahead and did that. And I would also like to raise the T-Rex enclosure up just a little bit, a couple of blocks, because we've got the Bronto enclosure, which is so big, and I think that if we're going to be doing varying heights back here, it makes sense to make the T-Rex enclosure a little bit taller. It just feels a little squat now, especially with as big the mountain is. And you guys can see, so you can see right there, Rexy is hanging out. I've got him behind this dirt partition, so they can't really get at each other. And so the two types of T-Rexes won't be hurting each other. But we do have some decent space back here. I mean, it's not huge, but we can build this up a bit. And so Rexy, I think we'll let him like kind of be the king of back here, and then, you know, the paths will come around, and potentially even on top we can bring some pathing on top, and they can go across, because we've got these two really nice plateaus right by the T-Rex enclosure. So we've got to do something with these. I don't know what they will be, but something needs to go on top of these plateaus here. So we'll probably have like a rope bridge that goes across between the two, and then you can see Rexy down there as well. And we'll try and find a nice way to naturally partition these T-Rexes off. Right now, it's just a quick ad hoc thing so that they wouldn't kill each other, because somebody was like, yeah, in the new with the new radiation effects, pretty much they're gonna kill each other. So it's like, okay, well, we don't want that happening. So we've lost enough T-Rexes at this point, and I don't want to deal with it anymore. So we'll let Lucille and Negan have this front section. Because they're big and they're cool and they're doing all the fun stuff, and then we'll have Rexy kind of be king of back here. We'll find some natural way to partition that off so it doesn't look weird. But yeah, so lots of stuff to do. I do think I think we already talked about this, but we've got that new Parasaurolophus DNA, so I do think we're gonna let the Arseniatheriums continue to have this enclosure, because I've given it to them now, and it's their home. And the Parasaurolophuses lost their rights to this awesome enclosure. What I think we're going to do, though, is we've got this path starting back behind here, which always kind of ended awkwardly anyway, so we're probably going to connect this path up. That one's probably going to end over there. This one will connect back up to the other side. Ooh, a little bit of lag. Connect back up to the other side over here where it connects by the T-Rex enclosure, and then we'll probably put another enclosure back here where we can put the Parasaurolophus. But then I think, as we look at the map, that's probably where we'll cap it. So we'll probably put another enclosure back here, and we might, so we've got the T-Rex going in here, we're going to put the Ichthyosaurs here. We could potentially put another enclosure, well, no, I don't want to do that either, as I'm thinking about it, because I do eventually, and we may do this soon, but eventually we're going to build like a gate here, and we may even put up like a wall that's going to kind of demarcate the edge of the park. And so probably Ichthyosaurs would still fall within it, even where I was planning on putting it. But I want to put like a big gate here, maybe like a Jurassic Park style, you know, gate. Put this here, and then we'll kind of start sectioning off parts of the park you know, so we have some kind of just blocking it, because I know we're going to move this way quite a bit, and so I don't want to move any more this way, because this is going to kind of be our personal space. We've got our employee lounge, or, you know, housing, we've got our dig site, we've got the memorial garden. I don't want to push too much more this way, so we'll push out in these other directions, and we'll kind of figure out, you know, probably between next episode and this episode. I didn't really want to do this. I don't want to do this on camera because it's probably going to take me a while, but I want to get kind of a to-do list. I need to get a full estimation of what kind of DNAs and dinos we potentially have access to, and I want to get kind of a to-do list going. And we'll probably do that in our ACU tower or something, our control panel there, and we'll just kind of get that to-do list going, figure out, okay, these are the dinos that we can potentially get, where are they going to go, front, back, middle, side, you know, all that kind of stuff, top, and we'll get it all going. But yeah, guys, I think that's going to be it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've been Tortimer the Great, and you guys have been great. Next time, I definitely think we're going to start doing some hatching, probably a Smilodon, and probably another Gallimimus or so, because I probably am going to work on getting the, at least in that stream, we will get the fences up enough that we can get Gallimimuses in there. It may not be completely done, but we should be able to get at least enough fence up that they won't be able to escape, and then we can start moving the Gallimimus over, because they're just getting too big, way too big, and so want to get them out of this enclosure and somewhere where they can be a little bit happier. And then soon we've got to start working on that petting zoo too, because we've had Pippin stuck over here for a long time as well. And I do think I'm going to put the Hypsilophodons, at least for now, into a petting zoo. And if we decide we want to do an enclosure for them at some point, we can certainly do that. But I think they're nice, small, little, peaceful dinos. It would be a good place to kind of have them. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I've been Tortimer the Great, and you guys have been great. Make sure to leave those likes, comments, and subscriptions for me, guys. And I'll see you all back here next time in the Jurassic world. And don't forget to tune in. I think we probably will do tomorrow from 12 to 1 EST. Tomorrow, 12 to 1 EST, noon to 1, so afternoon, noon to 1 EST tomorrow. Probably be doing a little bit of just grunt work, building and stuff in the park here. So stop in for that if you're interested, and I'll see you guys all back here next time. Alrighty, guys, have a good one.